So it is March already, which I can't believe. I do not even know where this year has gone so far. It is just flying by. So I appreciate you all being on tonight. First up, let's just give a little shout out to some of our February life changers. We had Nicole, who was our top coach of the month, hitting Success Club 13, which was amazing. She also reached Emerald in the same month, so it was a really big month for Nicole, so way to go. Casey also achieved Success Club, and Paula, Sarah, Kim, Jennifer, Aubrey, Lindsay, Linda, Amy, Carol, Michelle, Diana, and Mandy all achieved Success Club points as well, which we all know that means we are changing lives. We are helping people get started with their health and fitness journeys, which is what we are all about. So congratulations to everyone on our team for an awesome month. Just a reminder, in case you didn't catch it, it's been in the back office under breaking news on the right-hand side. But there has been an update on Success Club points. So the All Access Challenge Pack is now worth 2 points. So originally when it came out, kind of, I think like an extra incentive for everyone was that they made it 3 points for the challenge pack, but it is now 2 points. However, they do, if someone has all access, because there's the all access challenge pack, but there's also all access Beachbody on demand. So they still want to encourage us to get people started with Shakeology, because we know that's the important part of the nutrition side of the equation. So from now on, any new Shakeology home direct orders are 2 points, meaning that like if someone has all access, you know, in the past, like a lot of times people have gotten the challenge pack because it ends up being a discount for them. But now if they have all access, they have access to all the programs, but they can still get Shakeology, and you are rewarded with 2 points, which is nice. Okay, so our dates to remember, we are all the way down to the 13th. Coming up next week, we are going to be having 2 groups. We will have our 7-day, let me just make sure everyone's muted here. Sorry, there's background noise, guys. Okay, so next week we have the 7-day free crockpot meal, and it's a meal group, but it's going to be a group where we are going to share a bunch of crockpot meals for the week. But we're also going to be sharing meal planning and prepping tips as well. So it's going to be a combination. It's going to be a crockpot group, but also the meal planning and prepping side. So it's a great group to invite to. This group will not include fitness. It will just be strictly the nutrition side. So I did post about this group asking for crockpot recipes. I'm going to just put a document together to put in the file section of the group. So if you have any recipes you've tried and you know that are great, please share it in the group in that thread. We also have our 5-day Shakeology group next week, which is perfect to help educate people so they learn and understand the benefits of Shakeology. Q&A is coming up on the 16th at 9 p.m. Megan will be doing it this month. Last month there was a quick switch and Amy did it. And then we have our Power Hour on the 21st, and our new challenge group will begin on the 3rd, that first Monday of April. I posted this in our team page, but definitely utilize this. This gives you a really good idea of when to invite to each group. You can see every single week there's something to invite to, whether you're inviting to our open house. Hopefully that's what you were inviting to leading up to today, since we had that tonight. Now you can be switching over to inviting to our free group and Shakeology group. Then you can invite to our Q&A and then our April challenge. So there's always something to invite to, and this kind of gives you a good organized look at what's going on for the month. Also, I want to point out that every Monday in March, we are going to have a tracker check-in. And any of those trackers that you post, no matter what they look like, we're just celebrating any vital behaviors that you do. So it doesn't matter if it's full or not. Post it, check in with us, and get in a drawing at the end of the month. This is just to get used to and get into the habit of doing the vital behaviors. Okay. And here's just an example I wanted to show you of the trackers. You know, we have all different coaches on the call or listening to this, whether you're seasoned or not, but this is just an example of what a tracker would look like. And we can alter it and make it so that it's according to the goals that you have in mind and how much or how little you want to run your business. So definitely keep that in mind for those Monday morning check-ins during the month of March. Okay. This is a reminder next month because it is coming up very quickly. We have Super Saturday, which events are so important to get to. Live events make a huge difference. You can go into the Coach Online office under breaking news and check out Super Saturday locations and find a location near you. Any Pittsburgh coaches, we definitely have a group going, and we have a couple coaches. I know Nicole and Lindsay are on the call from West Virginia and Ohio. They're traveling a little bit and joining us in Pittsburgh, so we're excited to have them. So yep, check out one that's closest to you and get there. And we haven't talked about this other than those of you that already have your tickets, but I just wanted to mention that this is totally creeping up on us too. And this year, Coach Summit is in New Orleans. It is July 13th through the 16th. I am so excited. I'm not going to go on and on about it, but I could. I just want to mention that this is my 4th summit that I will be going to. And when I signed up in January, that summer, I did not go to my first summit, and I was so mad at myself. And I ended up going the following year, and that was basically when just everything changed for me, and I just saw the bigger picture, and it was definitely a big game changer in my business. So I recommend, if you can come, we're getting hotel rooms so we can all share rooms, split rooms together, bring down the costs for everyone, do whatever we can to make it possible for anyone that can be there to be there. All right, so this is where I will be turning it over to Amy. Amy Zuckett has been a coach on our team since August, and she has really just been amazing from the start. She's really jumped in and has been doing the vital behaviors, has been asking questions. We've met, we've talked. She's tracking. She is getting out of her comfort zone. She has just been doing some really, really amazing things for her business, for her challengers, to help herself, to help the people she's been working with, and I could not be more proud. And I'm really excited to hear her tonight talking about persevering in tough times. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I am going to let Amy take over.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen for the first time. This is exciting. Hold on. Oh, okay. Michelle?
Yes?
How do I get to my slides from here? Do you know?
Well, you have to hit share screen.
Yeah, I did that.
Share screen. You have to choose what you want, and then you click again on the bottom right, share screen.
Okay. Oh, there it is. I found it. Perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. All right. So, can you all see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So, as Michelle said, I'm a new coach, and I jumped right in, and I was super nervous about coaching in the first place. And I've had a lot of success in my business early on. So I didn't know what to expect. I just thought this, like, you just hit Success Club every month. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought that's what you did as a new coach. And Michelle's like, no, that's not normal. Like, you're doing incredible things. So when February hit and basically the brakes just got pumped on my business and everything just kind of like stopped, I didn't really know what to do. So the old Amy would have just put her head down, ate all the ice cream, binge watched on intervention, and just not worked hard anymore. I would have let that inner mean girl just say, see, you're not good enough at this. And I would have just quit because it would have been hard and I didn't want to push through that hard. But since I started coaching, so many things have changed and I completely changed how I think about things now. Not that that inner girl doesn't creep up and say, you're kind of sucking right now, but I push her back down and I keep on going. So last month was really tough for me and I pushed through it. So as it says, when the going gets tough, you get even tougher, which is what I did last month. And it was a struggle. Like, it was a real struggle, but I'm kind of glad it happened. So what I did to push through February, when all I did was hear crickets, basically, like I was doing all the things, but nothing was really happening. So I just kept up with the vital behaviors. I invited more people than I have ever invited, probably since I started coaching. They all got invited in February. I connected with people that were not in that safe, warm zone. Like people who I hadn't talked to in a long time, I threw that net out there and I just went for it. I continued to share my workouts and share my shakes. I just continued to do the things that I was doing because they're working for me, and people have liked that in the past, so I just kept going with it. I didn't quit with my workouts. I really dug into personal development, which has not been something that I've always been consistent with, but I really focused on it this month. And I just happened to get Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl. And that really, really helped because the things, like, it seemed like every day she was saying what I needed to hear on that day. And it just helped me realize that I just had to keep going. I had to just dig deeper. I had to push that mean girl down who has been ruling my life for a long, long time, and just keep moving. And then the fourth step was recognizing people, because people are doing amazing things and I want to celebrate people's successes. So whether it's meeting someone for coffee and they decide that they're going to get the 21-day fix, or whether it's just like saying, hey, Chris, hello, Chris, I'm so proud of you. Hey, Chris, you're on this call. Chris is my brand new coach. And here she is on her first team call. So I am like so tickled that she's here. And Chris has been doing incredible things too. She has an injured foot, but it hasn't kept her down. So she just keeps showing up every day, and I'm just so proud of her. So those kind of things, like, look how excited I got. Celebrating somebody else makes you feel good, makes them feel good, and people want to feel good. So you have to keep recognizing people. All right, here's the big thing. Quitting is easy. Quitting when things are hard is super easy. Pushing through and doing the things that don't seem like they're working, but you know that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. You have to just keep going. And there were so many days in February where I'm just like, this is it. Like, this is the end of Beachbody. Like, I'm just done. Like, I had my very fun run, and now see you later. It's over. But I didn't. Those days when I felt really, really down, I invited more people, or I connected with more people, or I reached out to Michelle, or I talked to Heather, who was so fantastic. Heather, thank you for everything you did in February. I didn't quit though, not one day. I did it every single day, even when I didn't want to, even when I'm like, it's not even worth it. I just kept going. And it took all month. I got in February, I had my first Success Club points on the last day of the month, which also happened to be a day a coach signed up, the last day in the afternoon of the month. So I just kept working every single day, doing the things I know I needed to do, and I never quit. Because once you quit, that's it. Like, you have, if you just look down and you say, that's it, I can't come up, you're not going to. You have to dig yourself out, and you have to just look at the top and say, I'm going to get there. Like, you can get there. So February didn't turn out how I thought it was going to turn out, but it turned out the way exactly how it should have, because now March, all that groundwork I did in February, things are happening in March. So this is how it goes. And so this is, like I talked about it already, but this is what I did in February. I invited and connected everybody. At the beginning of the month, because it was Team Cup, and I'm like, I'm going to blow this business out of the water. And that did not happen at all. But at the beginning of the month, I had all these huge plans, and I made this huge list of all the people I was going to connect to or reach out to and invite to things. And I just worked off that list every day. And I got that list by going back through my posts and writing down all the people who liked things or commented on things. Because if they're liking or commenting, they're looking at it and they're interested. So I just made a list. And that's what I worked off of. And there were some people on that list that were very scary for me, that I had to work up a lot of courage to hit that send button, because they're just those people that you don't know what's going to happen, whether it's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, whether it's that woman who's like always totally made up and her face is perfect and her kids look perfect and everything looks perfect. Like, there's some people that were scary, and I had a lot of days where I'm like, like white knuckling, and then I just finally hit push and then like walked away from the computer, because I'm like, I just can't, I can't look anymore. I kept sharing my journey. I posted every day with what was going on with Hammer and Chisel, what the workout was, what number day I was on. I did live videos. I did I just kept sharing, because if I went into hiding, no one was going to know I was still doing things, and no one would. There are those peepers out there. They're just looking. They don't, they're just looking, and then all of a sudden they're going to send you an instant message, or they're going to comment on something, or you're going to get this burst of energy from them that you didn't see coming. Like Chris Nolan, I can tell you right there, that when we were at the pig roast in October, she came up to me, she's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, out of the blue. Like, Chris and I didn't know each other all that well. We knew each other through Fleet Feet, but like, I was like, oh, this is how this works. All right. So she is a perfect example of one of those people that's watching. People are watching, and then all of a sudden when they're ready, they're going to come get you. They're going to reach out to you. So you have to keep sharing, and you have to be honest about it. That's the thing. Like, I keep it real most of the time. I'm pretty real about things. Like, when things are hard, they're hard. February was hard for me. And I talked about it. I embraced it. I felt all the feelings. I ate all the cookies. I did it all in February. But I just kept sharing, and I just kept it real. And then I committed to all the PD. Like, I have my desk right now is all the books. So I picked up The Slight Edge. I've got one chapter in. But again, that chapter was like, oh, this is what I need. Like, I feel like you just get out of things what you need. And all the PD I picked up this month were all the things I needed. So Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl spoke right to me. The Slight Edge, that was really good too. I did a Dave Ramsey book. And then there was something else I did too. But those are all the things. I wrote a list, hold on. Oh yeah, and Always You're a Badass. That's a great one to pick up when you're feeling not so hot. So those were all books that were like in my arsenal, and I read them or listened to them. I was a product of the product. I just did the things you're supposed to do. I woke up, I worked out, I drank my shake, I read my PD. I just did it every single day. And I journaled it. Like, on Facebook, you saw me every day. Here I am, hammer and chisel with my crazy hair, or with flexing on Friday. I committed to flexing on Friday in my laundry room. So I just went all in. I tracked every day all the things. Here's my tracker that I'm filling out. I've filled it out every day since January. So I tracked everything, because those days that were tough, I could see on my tracker that there weren't that many invites because I was feeling so frustrated. And the next day I pulled my head out of the sand and I got back at it. So I just kept doing those things. I was consistent. I did the things every day. I invited the people. I connected with the people. I checked in with our team page. I checked in with my group pages. I checked the online office. I just did it every day. I didn't quit on anything. And then the big one was I really stepped out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways in February, mostly with connecting and inviting people, because like I said before, there were so many people that I didn't think I could talk to, or that seemed scary, or that would think that I'm just trying to sell them something. So you never know, like, how someone, like, and I perceive things probably differently than obviously they're going to. So every time I like reached out to somebody that wasn't like close or comfortable, I'm like, oh, they're just going to think I'm trying to sell them something. Because I've had those thoughts about people too. So I just made sure to make them real connections, and I never ever said, oh, hey, come buy some Shakeology for me. I'm having a tough month. Never once those words ever come out of my mouth, because that's crap. So I just make real connections and invite people to things that I think that are gonna benefit them. So that is what I did to push through February. And I talked to Michelle, like I said, I talked to Heather, and I did a lot of emotional eating in February. There were some rough days. There were some rough days. But I didn't let that rule the whole month. Like, it was just a day, or it might have been a sleeve of cookies or whatever, but I moved on the next day, like just got back into it. So those are the things that I did in February. And now all those things I did in February are starting to pay off in March. So you can't quit on yourself if 1 month you're struggling, because you're planting those seeds. This is the thing I really realized. I'm planting seeds, and I'm going to watch that little garden grow. And some seeds take a lot longer to grow than others. And just because I think they should be a speedy seed and shoot right up does not mean that that is right for that seed. So when I have a challenger and I'm ready for them to buy the whole challenge pack, ready, they're going to go in, they're going to drink the Shakeology, they're going to do the workouts, and they decide, no, I think I'm just going to get the workout. I'm just going to do that. I don't need Shakeology. That really threw me for a loop, because I'm like, you need the whole thing. Like, this is what's going to make everything great. But when I heard in her voice how excited she was that she was going to do the 21-day fix, and that's what she was going to start with, and she was already committed that day, and she had her meal plan done, that's when a light bulb went off. And I'm like, you know what? I can't project onto them what I think they should have. They need to have what they are comfortable with and what they are excited about. So just because I want it to happen in a certain way doesn't mean it's going to happen that way. And this is what February really showed me, is that just because things have been easy, or just because everyone has been doing the things I thought they should be doing, that's not how it's going to always happen. So I have my challenger who's so happy with her 21-day fix, and people are noticing a difference, and she's not drinking Shakeology, and her husband wants to work out with her now, and her sister wants to do it with her now. So these are the things that I'm a coach for, to make these changes in people's lives, not because I think they have to have these certain things to make it work. Might it be easier? Might she have a little different progress? Sure. But you know what? She's pumped with her 21-day fix workouts. She's pumped with her eating plan. She's excited about all those things. And if I didn't plant those seeds early in February for her to decide later in February that she wanted to do it, she wouldn't have never done it. If I didn't reach out to her in the first place months ago, she wouldn't have got 21-day fix this month. So you have to plant those seeds. And even if you think they're just never going to grow or sprout, they're going to. If you nurture them, if you take care of them, if you don't push them too hard or at all, they're going to grow, and they're going to change their lives when they're ready. That was the thing. I mean, I'm a perfect example of that. People had been asking me to be a coach for over a year. And it wasn't until I was ready that I went to Michelle, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready. It wasn't because she said you should do this. It happened because I was ready. These things happen when you're ready. And if you're not ready, you're not going to have the success that you could have. So, you know, I just had to be very patient and just be at peace with what was happening in February, even if it wasn't easy for me to be at peace. I just had to let it go. I had to be Elsa, just let it go. All right. So here's another big thing. Pity parties and your inner mean girl. They are not your friend. Pity parties are not going to get you anywhere. Yeah, they might feel good and you're like, oh, woe is me, like nothing's happening. And you can have those like angry feelings. But if you just stay in that pity party, you're not going anywhere. Your business isn't going anywhere. You're not improving and nothing's going to happen. You're just going to end up feeling bad about yourself. And back to that inner mean girl, she doesn't want you to succeed. She wants you to quit. So you have to realize that those feelings, you have to work above those feelings, and you can't let those feelings push you down and define who you are. You can't let that inner mean girl say you're not worth it, because you are. You just have to work a little bit harder to get away from her. So, and then there's the option of giving up, which there were many days when I'm like, I'm just done. Like, I can't. And pushing forward. And pushing forward is harder and it can be frustrating, but you're going to get results if you push forward. If you keep moving forward, you're going to see results. So again, in February, I didn't give up, even though there were days when I was just super frustrated, and I just kept moving. I just used that frustration to fuel my business and to see what would happen. And I just didn't give up. All right. So I had to stay positive in February. And there were many days when that was hard. And I had coffee with Michelle one day and I'm like, this sucks. It was rough. But you just have to say the thing. You have to say those words, feel the feelings, and move on. Because if you just stay negative, nothing is going to happen. So staying positive means you're not going to give up. And Michelle's like, don't you say positive affirmations to myself? And I'm like, no, that is what Stuart Smalley does. And I don't do that. So now I have to start saying, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. So I just have to get in the habit of being better about saying those positive things to myself. And again, that's what Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl really helped, was saying those positive things about yourself. Because if you start saying them to yourself, you're going to start believing them. And when you start believing in yourself, things are going to happen. Like crazy things are going to happen. Crazy good things are going to happen. You need to know that the tides are going to shift. It's not always going to be this tough. It comes and goes, as Michelle said. It just ebbs and flows. You have to just ride that wave. And I rode the wave in February, and I'm riding it in March, and things are going to happen. It's just, you can't define when they're going to happen. It's just, you can't force something and think it's going to be a natural thing. If you force somebody to do something, or force somebody to buy something, or force somebody to whatever, that's not going to be good for anybody. Nobody wants to be forced into doing anything. I didn't want to be forced to be a coach. I didn't want to be forced to buy Shakeology. I didn't want to do any of those things last year, like a year and a half ago. I didn't want those things. But you know what? People just let me come to it naturally. You need to prioritize your tasks, because if you're just scrolling on Facebook, which we are probably all very guilty of, you're not going to get much done. And that's what I found when, I felt really out of control. I was scrolling on Facebook. I'm like, okay, who can I talk to? Who can I message? And I just had to put it all away. There were nights when I'm like, I just can't do this. I felt crazy. And I didn't like feeling like that, but I felt very out of control, and I didn't know how to focus it or wrap it all up or just get that control back. So don't spend your time scrolling on your phone. Focus on the things that are important to you and that you want to get done. So for me, workouts, Shakeology, PD, inviting, connecting. Those were the big things, because all the other ones I do. I check in with the group. Those are all things that are easy for me. The inviting, the connecting, the PD, those are the hard things for me. because you have to get out of your comfort zone to invite people and to talk to people. And, you know, they're not always easy. So, but you have to prioritize what is important to you. Put your phone down. I'm guilty of having my phone in my hand all the time, and I'm working hard to just have work time and then just put the thing away. I don't want my phone to rule my life, and I don't want my phone to take away from the time I can be with my family. And I'm having a hard time balancing that. But I wasn't always positive when I'm just like scrolling on my phone looking for something to blossom. Like that was not positive. Like it wasn't good. So put your phone down and take a break. Just walk away. Like when you get really frustrated, close the computer, put your phone down, take a bath, read a book, whatever it is that you need to do, just give yourself a break. And then the other thing is ask other coaches on the team to look at your social media content to see if what you're putting out there is what you actually think you're putting out there. Because maybe you're putting stuff out there that isn't really attractive to anybody. Maybe you're putting stuff out there that lots of people want to get in on. But it's good to have outside eyes looking at your content, because if you're just putting stuff out there that's not attractive to anyone, why would anybody want to do anything with you? Why would anybody want to get involved with you? So I know sometimes I feel like I'm just throwing stuff up on the wall and seeing what sticks because I'm new, and I'm like, I'm just trying to figure this thing all out. Sometimes I throw stuff up on the wall and it's perfect. It's great. Like everybody wants something, or everybody wants to get involved, or whatever. Sometimes I throw stuff up on the wall and it's just a bunch of crickets. And I'm like, oh, that was terrible. I thought it was really good, but it was terrible. So reach out, ask people on the team to check out what you're doing and say, are you attractive to this? Does this sound good? Am I being bossy? Am I being genuine? Does this seem genuine? Does this not? Like, should I comb my hair before I take a picture? Maybe, maybe there's that. Because you never know how someone's going to perceive what you're putting out there. You could have the best intentions and it can come across terribly. So it's nice just to have somebody else look at what you're doing. So, but that is how I managed February. And it was a long 28 days. I was really ready to wake up on March 1st and just wipe it away. But it was a big learning curve there. And as frustrated as I was really proud of myself because I never quit. I didn't give up. I just stayed in there and fought the good fight all month. And that's the thing. That's the lesson. Like, I didn't quit. I did not quit. And old Amy totally would have quit. She would have just felt bad about herself. And I would have just given up. But I didn't. And I didn't give up last month. I did not. To the very end, I was in the fight. And I'm like, I don't have anything to lose. So I'm just putting it all out there. But yeah, February, it was interesting. But I got Chris. She's on my team now. That's great. And Susan, I'm not sure if Susan's here, but she's here. And my friend Diane. So like all these amazing people are in my life now, and they're part of our team. And when I think about it, it's all because I decided in August to make a change in my life. And because I made one small change in my life, that ripple effect happened. And I am amazed every single day when I open up my phone, open up my computer, look at my challenge group, and all of these amazing people are in my life changing their lives because they saw me change my life. And that to me is what coaching is all about. It's just those connections, and you can't really understand it or feel it, or like, it just gives me all the feels. And I just am so grateful for what Beachbody has brought into my life, because I'm such a better person. So that's what that was my February. That's how I got through it. So
awesome. Do you want to exit out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right. Thank you so much, Amy, for sharing with us. You did an awesome job. Lots of great information. And I think it was really funny when, first of all, you can see how personal development is working in Amy's life, like completely. Like, not only has she totally, she's gone into the business like full force from the beginning, and she's changed her body physically. Like, you can see the changes from what she's been doing, but like personal development has been doing huge things for her. But it was really funny whenever we were at when we had coffee, and I seriously was like, well, how about, do you try, because obviously you could tell Amy's humor and sarcasm that she always has, and and yeah, it was a crazy month. It was a crazy month for all of us. It was a crazy month for me. I mean, it was just weird for February and for Team Cup and all that. But anyways, when I asked about positive affirmations, she looked at me like I had like 3 heads. Like, I was absolutely crazy. Meanwhile, I guess I didn't even know who she's talking about, Stuart, whoever. Like, I didn't know who that person was. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm like him because I do positive affirmations every day as part of my miracle morning. But it was just a funny conversation. But anyways, when Amy talked about prioritizing your tasks, that made me think of like just controlling the controllable, like what you can do. And that's basically what you can do all month. And I think that, like Amy said, like it was the biggest like learning experience. And I see so many people, think about it, this isn't just coaching. This is like everything that you do in life. If you're trying to do something and you have setbacks, how many times instead of pushing forward, you taken like 10 steps backwards instead? That it's everything that you do in life. But coaching, that's a big thing. And I heard on the National Wake Up Call this week too, consistency builds momentum. And if you're not consistent and you don't continue with that consistency, like, you're going to lose that momentum. And how hard is it to go, stop, go, stop? Even if you just go a little bit more, go a little bit more, at your pace, you're still being consistent and you're still moving forward and you still have that momentum. But if you go and stop, go and stop, go and stop, you're going to have a heck of a time doing anything with the business or for anything else in that matter. All right, so just wanted to mention one more thing that I didn't mention before. For those of you that participate in the Coach Open House, thank you so much. We switched things up thanks to Heather Farrell. She was the one that had the suggestion like last month. I think it was like the day of the open house. You messaged me about it, and we added some videos into it, which I thought were really great. If you don't mind checking it out, or if you were in there, give some feedback. If you were already in there and participated, give some feedback. But we had a couple people. We were supposed to have 3. It ended up being 2 because Terry's sick. I don't think Terry's on here because she wasn't feeling well. But Terry was supposed to be another story. But we had 2 people tell their stories about how they got started. Melissa ended up telling a misconception too. So we ended up having 3 people talk about misconceptions, one being time, one being having to be like at your goal weight or, whatever, and one being a salesperson, which those were like perfect. And then Amy at the end just did like the normal I've done in the past, the thank you and video at the end. So I think it gave like a nice personal touch for that. But I wanted to reiterate, like the open house makes a huge difference when we all participate. So maybe next month, get it on your calendar early. It's always the first Tuesday of the month, but it is so helpful. It is a great sharing tool for all of us to share the opportunity. But it's even greater when all of us are sharing our perspective, because you know how like when you're talking to someone about coaching, they only hear your point of view, your story, how you got started, why you got started. But when you go into the open house and you have all these other coaches participating, they hear all of your stories as well. And maybe they might just be able to relate a little bit to each and every one of you. So anyways, I just wanted to mention that. So thank you for all of you that participated. I appreciate it so much. All right. Any questions or anything else before we head off the call? No, all good. Okay. Thank you so much, Amy. You were awesome tonight. We appreciate you sharing with us. And thank you all of you for getting on. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.